Vikings cornerback Jeff Gladney, first round pick last year, he was a 31st pick in the draft, turned himself into the police. And the reason for it is because he allegedly assaulted his girlfriend. And a warrant was issued for him. The charge is a third-degree felony family violence assault. And he posted a $10,000 bond. And if he is convicted, he is going to face 2 to 10 years in jail. And the woman that was in a relationship with Jeff Gladney said that they got into an altercation because Jeff Gladney asked to see the messages in her phone, and she threw the phone out the window so he couldn't see it, and he stopped the car, went out, and got the phone, and he also hit her. He open hand hit her on her face. He pulled her hair. He was like trying to shove her face, trying to get the Face ID to work so he could see the messages. This allegedly, this is what details. And then Gladney began to strike her in the ribs, back, and stomach, and hit her open hand on the face. And she also said Gladney began to strangle her, but she was able to break free and escape. The Vikings have released a statement on this situation and said that they take the matter very seriously, and the reported allegations are very disturbing. But at this time, they have no further comment. So they have not made a decision whether to cut him. For the time being, he is going to be kept and see what happens, but he did turn himself into jail right now. He is in jail.
It's really disgusting stuff. Like, if you read the the statement that was given so far, it's really hard to imagine anybody doing that. Like, I can't even fathom it. And if it is true, he deserves to rot in jail. And I just hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true, because it's hard to believe that somebody could lose control of themselves in that matter.
It's pretty crazy because it seems like these cornerbacks are starting to go to jail. Last year, DeAndre Baker, 2 years ago, 30th pick in the first round, he was charged on robbery charges, got cut by the Giants. And then this year is Jeff Gladney, but obviously you stated it. I mean, this is disgusting stuff. This is really disgusting stuff. And if it is indeed true, he should go to jail. And it's pretty wild that somebody can lose control like that. But then again, we know that football is a sport where you could lose control very easily because there is that risk of CTE, and everything negative a football player does is always going to get associated with CTE. But obviously this is very bad. It's very bad for him because he basically threw his career away over a irrational response to a situation.
This is a bad situation. I think this goes bigger than football. This happens all around the world, men beating on women. And I think this is something he should definitely go to jail if, in fact, it is true. His football career should be over. I just don't see how he gets to that anger where he has to beat her down because she won't let him see his phone. Obviously, she must have did something in the cheating aspect where he was trying to get the phone, but it's no excuse for hitting a woman. You should, in my opinion, you should never put your hands on a woman regardless of the situation. He didn't have any real meaning to hit her, and he should definitely go to jail. But this is a situation that really expands farther into the world. Like, it's deeper than football. This happens in regular day lives, in the streets, everywhere, no matter the situation. So I think this really indicates how bad it is, no matter where it is, honestly.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, I actually spoke to a couple of people about this, and he could go to jail for 10 years. She could get paid whatever settlement money there is for her to make. Like, that's stuff that if it happens to you, like, that never goes away. Like, that will always be a mental scar. No matter how much you're paid, no matter how many years go by, like, that's something that will always stick with you. And it's just really, like, messed up stuff to
imagine
read
that
about.
being like your sister or something.
Yeah, it's traumatizing for the women that are involved because now in any relationship that she's in, she feels like that is going to be the response. Of course, this is allegedly it happened, and this is the story. So, but yeah, I mean, if he did it, he should go to jail. But this is a really horrible situation, and not only for him, but for the Vikings too. To take a player so high in the draft, and for him to do something like this, you always hate to waste a draft pick on a player. And right now, it seems like Jeff Gladney is trending in that direction. In terms of the Viking side of things, Now the Mackenzie Alexander signing is looking that much better. Getting a cornerback. They signed Patrick Peterson and Mackenzie Alexander. Mike Hughes is coming back. And Jeff Gladney wasn't even the best rookie corner on their team. It was Cameron Dantzler. So even if they don't have Jeff Gladney on the team, I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't
think they need him.
After his rookie year, I don't think, if any of this is true, I don't think they'll think twice about cutting him.
Yeah, one, he hasn't earned his name in the NFL yet to be able to bounce back from something like this.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen players do before, which is not right, but for a rookie, there's no way. And he wasn't good either.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, like, talking about the NFL, how many stories like this come up. And it makes you wonder about, like, the research on CTE and all of that, and how much of an effect it really does have, starting from, because he was a rookie, Jeff Gladney. So, you know, is this something that's affecting kids as young as high school, college age?
They say it does.
You know, how much of an impact does it have? And I think it's going to be really interesting to see over the years how much more research is done and how much more comes out about it, because it does seem to be disproportionately in the NFL. You hear more about it than any other sport. And it's still in all sports. There's no question about it. But it does feel, at least, like it happens more in the NFL than any other sport.
Yeah, they say it starts as soon as you play football, and you have like a way bigger chance to get it. The problem with CTE is that you don't know if you have it until you're dead.
Yeah.
And they examine your brain. Yeah. So there's no way to really tell. And that's why a lot of football players nowadays are worried about if they do have it or not. You know, older players talk about it all the time. If you guys watch the podcast I Am Athlete with Brendan Marshall, Fred Taylor, Shannon Crowder, and Ocho Cinco, like, one episode they talked about CTE, and they all wonder if they have it or not. They wonder if when they have bad days, is it because they're just having a bad day because they're human, or because they have CTE. Like, I can imagine just being a football player dealing with those type of thoughts, dealing with whenever you get a little bit angry, you feel like it might not be you that's in full control of yourself. And it might not be your human emotions, but it might be CTE kicking in. I think a lot of football players deal with that thought.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, and it does make you wonder, what is the answer for the NFL? Like, what is there any solution? Is there any way to fix this, or is it just the game? And,
Dr. O'Malley said there's no way to fix it.
So
it just is the game, the nature of the game. It's just not humane for that to happen, for people to run into each other at full speed and hit each other.
And you wonder, like, it's obviously the most popular American sport. You wonder if in the coming years, the coming decades, the numbers are going to start taking a hit as more and more comes out about it, because you see how bad it is for your brain. You know, you have to wonder how many parents aren't going to want to put their kids in pads and send them to football practice knowing that this is a possibility.
And with the one game added to the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, knowing this is a thing, they added a game to the schedule.